La Crosse Mayor Tim Kabat joins us this morning to talk about what's happening at City Hall. We always love to catch up with you and hear what's going on. Good morning. Let's talk right away about the La Crosse Center. I know this is coming up again. We're beyond the planning stage, a lot of it now, and talking about the pay for it stage.
That's right.
What's the latest with that?
So the council will be taking care of legislation this week to deal with both a room tax increase. We've, I believe, achieved a good compromise.
You wanted 11% because the current one is 8, right?
Correct. And the proposal before the council now is for a 9.5% room tax, along with some other budget changes we're going to make. We feel like we've achieved the goal of having more room tax go towards La Crosse Center and still not raising the room tax rate itself as high. And then the other piece of legislation really is to deal with the financing plan. So that kind of combination of room tax, of property tax, of ticket surcharge. We've asked for contributions from Unalaska and La Crosse County, and that kind of gets all put together and moves forward. So I think folks feel really good about where we're at, the momentum that the project is really starting to generate now as we get into kind of the final design and what it's going to look like and how the rooms are going to actually, be put together is all really exciting.
And I was reading about the sunset clause that's in there, that after 20 years, the room tax would go back down to 8%.
Correct.
Why?
Well, the debt service for what we have to borrow to do the project is for 20 years, and our partners in the hospitality industry have asked us to basically sunset it so that once we have the debt paid for, that it would go back to 8%. So it seemed like a fair thing to do. Of course, it's hard to predict, next week, let alone 20 years from now.
Right.
And there'll be different mayors and different councils and everything to address that. But for right now, that's the plan.
We're in the summer months now. Pools are open. What's the
yes.
status with Memorial Pool?
The work is continuing there. We're looking for that to open in towards the end of July, so we're still hoping to have some of the swimming season yet at Memorial Pool. I think that's very exciting. Obviously, our other 2 pools are open and the beaches are open, so it's it is, like you said, summer in La Crosse, so folks are getting outside, which is great.
Pay for street parking. We just did a story about this, talking to some of the students at Western who are not very happy about the way this is being implemented. That students are kind of clogging up other streets and avoiding the pay-for area. Feedback on that, and are there any changes planned?
Well, we just kicked it off, so we'll see. I'm sure there will be tweaks as we go. The fall semester hasn't started yet, so the summer is, I think, kind of a good way to roll that out, maybe with not as much congestion and people. So as we go along, as we get into the full swing of school, both at the area around WTC and then also UW La Crosse, if we need to make adjustments or move locations, we'll do that. I think this really is intended to be a pilot to see how it works.
Okay, so this is me on a typical day driving around La Crosse. We were joking about this, but this is really what I do. I complain about all of the potholes.
Yes.
And then I also complain about all the construction going on. Am I one of many?
Yeah, it is. I think it's probably just kind of our nature, right? And then in the wintertime we're complaining because it's icy and everything else. So it is going to be. They joke, there's 2 seasons in Wisconsin. It's, winter and road construction. So there are going to be a lot of orange barrels out. Losey Boulevard right now is a bit of a mess just because we're repaving that whole stretch from State Road down to Ward Avenue. We'll be doing some spot repairs actually on 3rd Street and La Crosse Street, and then Gillette Street will be starting soon. So kind of all over the city, and I heard that last summer as well. It's good because we're trying to fix about 7 miles of streets this year. But you're going to run into issues where sometimes the street is closed and it's being worked on, and you're going to have to
turn left.
That's right. You got to find another route. So.
Okay. 2 more quick things. The mayor's crew work starts on Friday.
Yes.
For folks who are not familiar with what the mayor's crew does, can you give them a little information about that?
We have a summer youth employment program that hires. We've got a crew of 18 high school students from La Crosse who basically, it's modeled after the old CCC program from the Great Depression. They go outside. They do work to improve parks and trails, and they even have an element where they assist homeowners with small projects. They get paid for that work, get great experience, and that crew This, I believe, will be the 4th summer now that we're doing this program, and it's been very successful. The students, the young people have learned a lot, gotten good experience, and we've actually beautified, parts of the city, which is phenomenal.
It's a win-win, really.
It is.
That program. And lastly, Lacrosse Day at Miller Park.
Yes, coming up.
Coming up here June 27th. You've been to this before, I'm sure.
Yes. It's a lot of fun. It's a great way. I mean, it's sort of like our whole community gets together, and I've heard it's the largest community days that the Brewers have. So lacrosse represents for sure.
It's a lot of fun.
It is.
So tickets are still available for that, and they're playing the Mariners. Any predictions?
Well, of course, the Brewers are going to win.
Brewers are going to win,
Yes.
of course. Well, thank you so much for stopping
bet.
by, Mayor. We always love your visits.